So in the studio today we have Chief Greg James of the Alibu Band in Burgeo. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right, Steve.
So you wanted to come in and just give us a little bit of information on how this happened and all that stuff?
Yep. So we had a meeting there about a month and a half ago to determine whether a ban here was needed.
Yeah.
And it was determined at that meeting that yes, there was a need for the ban.
Yeah.
So we went forward with the election of officers. So last Wednesday night we had that. So we have Elaine Ingram as treasurer, Katie Strickland as secretary, vice chief will be Gary Warren, and myself was the elected chief.
Okay.
And this was done so that to protect the interests of the indigenous community around here when we go forward looking for maybe any funds from Alibu, that we will be in a better position to do that.
Okay.
So it is to protect our own interests while we form the band. And then the actual name of the band we come up with was quite simple, the Burgeo Band of Indians.
Oh, that's what?
So
yeah. So now, the band is formed now. So do you have to be a registered Alibu in order to be part of the band, or is this something that you will welcome anybody in?
Well, the band is going to be set up. Our next step is to write a proposal to hire a band manager, and the band manager's job will be to seek out those of status, and those of non-status. So that means if you have a lineage that is proven tied back to an indigenous person or family or whatnot, you can apply to be part of our band, which we would issue a band card. Yep. And that's meaning you don't need to be from Burgeo. You just need a proven lineage, a genealogy to go date back to a native, either a family or a community. So that's how that'll work. We have a lot of people all throughout Canada that are from Burgeo that has been inquiring about that when they can and join the band. So yeah, we'll be accepting those as well. So that's our next move, is the proposal writing and seeking funds from the federal government to hire a band manager.
Okay. So now, what is some of the benefits? Now, I know that we mentioned a little bit there on the beginning, but what are the main benefits now that you guys will have by being a band?
Would guarantee us a voice at the table, garner more respect to those that here in Burgeo, recognized as an indigenous community. So in dealing with Alibu, if there was anything that came out, let's say there was a hypothetical situation, some royalty sharing when it comes to the fishery, thing like that, we want a voice at the table. As we're well aware, the redfish quota, there's a partnership between Barry and the Barry Group and Alibu now to share in royalties on that. That traditionally was a Burgeo quota, and we should have had a voice at that table now when it comes to employment and employment opportunities or any royalty sharing into that.
Okay.
So that would put us in a better position to, let's say, if we need to do any arm bearing or any back and forth with the band, it sets one voice up for that.
Okay. Yes, boy. Well, that's nice then. It's nice to hear that things are going well so far.
Things are going really excellent with the culture committee we have, and that we put off several workshops.
Yeah.
Our next workshop is Mogston workshop, which we had that much interest, we had to put a cap on it. We had to close it out at 45.
Yes, boy.
So
nice.
we received funding from Alibu again to put that workshop off. and
Yeah.
we will be receiving more funding in this year. At some point in time, we'll be getting more money from them. And we want to put off a Maui Omi. Maui Omi is a Mi'kmaq word for gathering. We want to have something along the lines we did last year with the wall game dinner, but we wanted more indigenous presence.
Yeah.
So there'll be dancing and drumming and singing and
Well.
those types of things, and along with a meal or whatnot. So
Nice.
that's something that we're looking at, and we'll be applying through Parks Canada if we had to have at the park, which would be a great setting in that, to do that. So
Okay.
that's some of the things we're looking at. But the support that we received so far has been absolutely wonderful from the town and,
Yes,
and
yes.
from the people of Burgeo. So
Yes. And the other thing I was going to ask is, I noticed that on the last town council report, you guys asked if you can use the town council as a meeting place, and you was denied. So have you found another spot, or?
Well, we've been renting the Jolly 50 Plus Club right now, and
Yeah.
it's not a big expense, but we're looking
Yeah.
for a place that we can call home,
Yes.
and somewhere where we can, have a filing cabinet and keep our files and
That's right.
keep things in order,
Yeah.
keep our house in order type thing. We haven't found a place yet, so
Okay, yeah.
we're still looking, and we're going to be looking in at the ground search and rescue. That'll be a part of our proposal writing,
Yep.
and see what we can come up with. Either an office at the federal building or an office at the town office. We don't know.
Yes.
So it'll be something that when we start our proposal writing, we'll identify a few places and see where it goes.
Yes. So now, with this ban and stuff, that I guess, people who's watching now, they're probably saying to themselves, well, maybe I should contact them to try to see if I can get in, all that stuff. So should these people wait until you get this manager?
Right. People
Right.
should wait until
Yeah.
the next step is the process is put in place.
Yeah.
It's like a big puzzle, and this is probably going to be the hardest part. Forming the band was the easiest.
Yeah.
The proposal writings and everything like that, that'll be the hardest part. And we are being mentored. We are being mentored from the band in Flat Bay.
Yeah.
They're very well versed in proposal writing,
Yep.
things like that. So they're really going to be a huge part of our success, really, in writing a proposal. I mean, the employment of one person, if we can start off employing one and maybe two people later down the road, now,
That's right.
I mean, that's pretty huge for around here.
Oh, yes, most definitely. And well, this can actually probably change like the cultures of Burgeo alone, because you know your own self what it is and stuff like that, right? And it was nice to know that this culture is going to be preserved to its best ability, eh?
Absolutely, and
Right.
that's a big part of the culture committee. And that is preservation of the culture.
Yeah.
We get out and we share stories, and we find out a lot of things about how we're related and things like that, and share stories of somebody will say, my grandmother told me this and told me this story, and the stories are just fascinating.
Yep.
People even living on trap lines or being born on trap lines,
Yep.
So I think it's very important that we share those stories,
Yes, that's
and
right.
not just amongst ourselves, but amongst the community as a whole.
Yeah.
No,
Well, that's great, boy. And while knows now, you're welcome to use the BBS as the information hub. If you want us to get information out, you can come in any time and talk to me.
absolutely, really appreciate it, Steve.
No
Thanks for having me
problem.
in.
Thank you very much.